justice for all.
Everyone, ready?
I'm gonna move that thing one of these days. You don't have something to fight with, do you?
Oh, that, yeah. It takes a while to get used to.
Get rid of the cord.
Yeah.
I got rid of that, but...
Okay, let's call this meeting to order and look at the agenda for approval.
Any corrections or additions to it?
Nope. None.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approve the minutes from April 12th.
I read through them, they all look pretty good, so I make that motion.
Second.
For a first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. General public concerns. Nobody on Zoom, nobody here. We'll move on. Ben?
Morning.
Morning.
Got an application, a couple applications to work in the county's right of way. The first item is to approve an application with Midland Power to switch an overhead electrical line to underground. And this is at Dave Walter's property on 130th Street in Wacusta Township. We're happy to accommodate anytime they want to take these overhead lines and switch them to underground. Less chance of us catching them with a box going
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, obviously, everything's in order. I'd make a motion to approve that. Work in the right of way permit. Second.
We have a first and a second. Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Then do they bore that thing, or what do they do with that?
Yeah, they'll bore this one. They'll end up digging a pit on each side and then they bore the line through.
Okay, now we have working ready for Larson Brothers.
Yeah, so the second item that we've got is to approve some work in the county's right of way. This is north of Hardy, trying to think of the property owners, Dave, Hanselman. It's up by the Hanselman property.
Oh,
They're at the
okay.
north end, just north of the railroad tracks, north of Hardy. They gotta do some work on a private tile that currently outlets close to the right-of-way line, and just to cover their bases in case they have to get into the right-of-way to repair this. They're getting pre-approval, basically.
Oh, just in case.
I think they've learned from their mistakes. Better to get the permit and not use it than to get in the ditch and then wonder why you don't have a permit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, no,
So-
they seem great to work with. I met with them last week on that private tile crossing that they were doing on Texas.
Yep. So everything was good there. This one, they may or may not get into it, but...
We've got a copy of their insurance on file now, and this seems
What's this?
pretty straightforward.
On the right hand, on the east side of the road.
This is on the west side of the road, I believe. They've got a tile line that dumps pretty close to the right-of-way line.
Okay.
So, I think it goes from that acreage north to the creek.
Okay.
Well, if everything is good, which it sounds like it is, I'd make a motion to approve that permit as well.
Okay, we have a first,
I'll second.
second by Sandy, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, anything else we need to discuss? We got some time.
We got, Blacktop Service is starting to do their, route and seal crack filling on States Avenue at the north end, of P-63. They'll be working their way south towards Highway 3. I saw the routing machines heading that direction on my way over here, so they'll be starting there shortly. Their plan is to do that 5-mile stretch of P-63 and then that 4-mile stretch on P-20 between P-66 and Highway 17, the Vernon School Road. And then they'll come back later in the year to do the remainder of our crack filling. But they wanted to get that in and get it done so that Fort Dodge Asphalt can come up and do our slurry leveling on those two stretches. We are getting our crew together out of Hardy to start pulling the rotten bridge decking on Bridge Bridge 39, which is on Quebec Avenue, just north of Gene Kruger's place. Last year we did a repair on it, and the look of some of the timbers when the guys had pulled rock back didn't look very good. So I told Denny and Kenny, I said, if we get a break in the action this year, I want you guys to peel all that rock off the bridge deck. I've never seen it without rock in 18, 19 years. So the guys hauled, I think, 8 loads of rock off of that bridge deck.
Oh.
And,
rock?
Oh, yeah.
yeah, about 8 loads of rock off that bridge deck. And what they found was a bunch of rotten timbers, basically. The rock held the moisture and sat on the boards, and it could never dry out. So we're starting to strip the deck off right now. We're gonna try and salvage boards that are still in good condition. I've got enough timber here in Dakota City to do between 70 and 80% of the bridge deck. I'm hoping that we can salvage the other 20 off of the existing bridge deck, and we'll just leave the rock off of it from now on, so.
Oh,
That picture you sent, Ben, which direction is that on the worst? Is that the,
I think I was looking south on that.
looking south, that's what I wondered, so you're gonna start on that worst edge and go that direction then?
It's all worse.
It's all
You're tearing that, every last board off of it?
Right, so they're gonna start by pulling the guardrail off and then the curb and gutter, and then they're just gonna start pulling all the boards off. Right now, the boards are tongue and groove,
Wow.
so they actually...
Oh, they lay tight then.
They lay tight.
I can feel that moisture, I can get away there.
Right, yep. So we're not replacing with tongue and groove, and the guys are just gonna take a chainsaw and cut that tongue portion off. The stuff that we've got here was from a bridge that we salvaged 2 seasons ago, that PCI did the work on, and we took all the timber,
Oh,
or Midwest did the work, but we took all the timber on it. And those are not tongue and groove. So those,
well, yeah.
we'll keep relatively tight, but, you know, I mean, we can leave a 1/2-inch gap and everything can
Yeah,
dry out.
rock won't go through, but the
Right,
air water will.
yep, so that's what that crew's working on.
If anybody asks, how long do you think this will take?
6 months.
Seriously?
No.
Well, now, that would've been a fair answer if you were the DOT.
Right?
So, seriously, approximately, because they're working on it now, tearing it off.
2 weeks
Okay.
would be my guess. They'll give us a week to tear everything off and a week to put it back together.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, if you happen to ever work for the DOT, you gave probably a correct answer.
Right. The question of the DOT is, can you get a hold of the right guy?
Yeah.
You know, there's so many of them, you never get a hold of the right
Pass the
guy.
buck around. I don't wanna do that paperwork here.
Yeah. No, that sounds good.
I'm hoping 2 weeks. We had our independent bridge inspector come, or one of their guys, but, he started painting boards and he's like, I'm gonna run out of paint.
Yeah.
I said, no, I said, it's bad. I said, I just wanted you guys to come up and look at what you guys have been rating for the last
Saying it was good.
15 years, telling me that this is a good bridge.
That's very good.
I don't have DOT funding because they've been rating it in the 80s for the last
Mhm.
decade.
So what you're basically telling is maybe do a little closer inspection next time.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, or just make a request, hey, we've never seen the deck,
Yeah.
you know, can you guys peel the rock off?
Yeah.
What's the depth on that? I mean, is it, I don't know what,
It's deep.
Is it deep?
I don't think it's a lot of drainage. I mean, my gut shot for replacing it was to put a 12-by-12 box in through there. But, yeah, it's pretty deep, and there's timber on each side, so then you're worried about
Getting it plugged.
getting it plugged.
I imagine when you get a lot of rain, a lot of water goes through there, but it's,
Mhm.
there's a lot of places to hold water there too if it does back up.
Right. I mean, if we were replacing it right now, I would be looking at probably 12-by-12 box culvert in that location.
Well, this is way more cost effective and it'll keep it maintained basically back to
Sure,
that.
You're looking at probably $175,000 to $200,000 for a 12-by-12 box.
Oh, yeah.
And if we've got the timbers here,
Just manpower.
it's 2 hours, or 2 weeks of labor.
Right, it's just taking them off, putting them on. It'll put it back better than it was.
Right.
It should give us many, many years.
Yep.
I mean, the bridge itself, I think was built in the 60s.
Yeah, is it wood timber beams that there's on, the
Mhm.
boards are on top of?
Yeah, so those are the 6-inch wide by 15-inch tall, I think, wood beams.
So
It's
the
built out.
structure's good.
Everything underneath is
bad.
good. I mean, that's why it was rated so well. They thought everything was the same condition.
Okay.
It should fix it right up.
Since the rating was off when you gave it to the DOT so that you couldn't get any funding, can you do that now? Is there any way you can go back and say, hey,
I can go back for funding, but if I'm running it through the DOT, 6 months to a year is probably closer to how long it'll be closed.
oh, okay,
So, by the
Then you
time I
work
get
for us.
all of the permits and get approved for funding, and
gotcha.
I gotta amend the 5-year plan to add the bridge, because it wasn't on there.
Okay.
What is how much of the timbers do you have, and do you have access to get any more of them? Because we have other wood bridges.
Right, so we're gonna deplete what we have for the
That's what I
4-inch
figured.
deck planking. We do have some of the 6-inch main trusses that could be ripped down. I'm gonna contact Merriman today and see what they have up in Algona. I'll talk to a couple of adjacent counties to see if we can purchase some material from them if we happen to fall short. But yeah, I know we've got a couple of other wooden deck bridges, you know.
Right.
I think Berkemer needs a couple of them replaced on the driving surface. Same thing with Murray, so.
Well, those things are just getting harder and harder to find.
Plus, right now, I
Yeah.
bet you they're just expensive.
Oh.
Well, I was just
Yeah.
gonna say, that's where it'd be cheaper if we can get them from
Somebody.
Merriman or an adjacent county. 'Cause
Mhm.
Mhm.
if it's like anything with the cost of a 2x4 right now, I hate to guess what a single plank costs.
Unbelievable.
You would hate to guess that.
Yeah.
How wide are those planks?
12, maybe 12 inches by
By
4
4.
inches, and then...
By length?
They all vary.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, I mean, the ones that are out there right now are 24-inch long, or 24 feet long. So the bridge itself's 32 foot wide. So you got a 24
Oh, wow,
and
yeah.
an 8, and then they stagger the joint back.
Every other one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's that wide of a bridge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's plenty wide. And, you know, it was a legal limit
Mhm.
for traffic, so but everything else was in really good shape.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, good luck with that project.
Yeah.
It's good though.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a good thing to do.
it's not gonna cost the county much money.
No.
So.
Have you been harassed by the sheriff, wondering if you were starting blacktopping or something out there?
I thought so, and then I talked to him later on last week, and he said, honestly, he goes, it's kinda nice not having any traffic going on in this place, so you can go ahead and leave it closed.
There you go.
We are done with, striping in the county, except for the construction striping that they'll have to come back in June for. They finished that last week. They were doing stop bars and railroad crossing signs here, middle of last week. The milling contract, we did our pre-con last Friday for all of our paving. The milling contractor is in Franklin County right now. He's hoping to be here the beginning of next week to start milling for our paving. He's gonna start on the Clare Road, and then we figure paving possibly starting the week of the 3rd, and all this is weather dependent, you know, I mean, if it's 30 degrees, they can't be pumping water through that milling machine, so it's probably sitting still right now. But that's all I have.
Okay. All righty, well, let's move on down and approve a auditor's quarterly report ending March 30th.
I have a copy
copy of that, and it's pretty straightforward as far as the transfer fees. Very few copy fees. Had a few plat books and maps purchased. Other than that, it's pretty small.
Yeah, you never have a real big one. Auditor never has a really...
They don't generate a lot of revenue.
Okay, I'll make that motion to approve.
I'll second.
First and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, now we have approve application for a credit card for the auditor's office. I know in the past, the auditor always had the credit card, because there's so many things you have to pay online. And when Peggy left, the card was in her name, so we have to go get a new card,
Okay,
so.
that makes sense. I'll
Is
make
there,
it.
what do we,
I'm looking at
limit?
2,000. Small limit comparatively what it was.
Well, that's what I wondered, 'cause she did all the hotels and stuff, we haven't been anywhere to...
Yeah.
No,
enough?
That's what I
I don't
wondered.
know.
Can you ask for
That's-
more?
Well, usually you apply and then you call in and raise it.
Great.
Yeah.
As you use it too,
Yeah,
because-
it increases,
Like Bruce said, if that's the case and things get back to normal,
Mhm.
then, yeah, you could need a lot bigger limit than that.
Yeah, I think Peggy, I can't remember, it
10.
was it 10? Yeah. So,
But primarily, it's, we have, one of the website, managers of this, they go through, you can't pay by an actual check, 'cause it never makes it there, apparently.
Hmm.
So, 'cause they're in California.
yeah, so many things are paid on credit card
you'll have
anyway.
an ACH to come out of the checking account to pay for the credit card, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, you just have to let us know if it needs to be raised.
Well, I think that,
Or what do you think for,
Which company are we going with?
I'm looking at Bank, Iowa right now.
Okay.
I mean, I would suggest you start at bare minimum of 5, because
Yep.
2 is not even close. If, you know, it's nice and we don't wanna spend any,
Right.
but if you have to put
Mhm.
some big event or something, ice axe, whatever,
Right.
you're gonna have to raise it immediately
I
anyway.
agree.
Okay.
But,
Well,
I'll make a motion to open it for 5,000.
okay, first,
second.
from Eric, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, let's drop down and do committee reports.
The only thing I had, I didn't have any meetings, but Thursday night I went out, and looked at that, tile west of town here, with Ben's, and we'll visit about that when we get to drainage, that's the only thing I had.
Okay. On the 15th, I had, kitty cat meeting over at the, administration office.
That it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry, yes, that's it.
Okay.
You can't read my calendar?
Wednesday the 14th, we had a animal shelter. Period. That's it. Okay. This past Wednesday, the 14th, I had a decategorization board meeting via go-to-meeting that morning. And that is all our extra board meetings I had.
I had, Iowa Drainage District Association meeting on Wednesday, the 14th, down in Rockwell City. And then I had the animal shelter Wednesday night, and I think it was Friday, I went out and looked at that thing, that tile project that Bruce brought up. And a couple other phone calls, nothing much. On that drainage meeting, get my notes here. the governor did sign that law where our limit for, having to put things out for bid is now, as of July 1st, be $139,000.
Awesome.
So, they did get that changed, so.
That went from, what was it?
50.
50 to...
Well, I didn't think
wow.
they were gonna get that accomplished. They did it though.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And what it basically means is, if you're gonna bid something, you have to have an engineer's report for that. So anything underneath that, you can still get an engineer's report if you like, if you think it needs to be engineered, it's an option, but it's like basically to clean 4 miles of ditch or whatever. If we don't feel it's necessary, we can just hire whoever we want to do the job, so we don't have to go with the lowest bidder who's just learning how to clean a ditch.
Think of it.
Right.
Awesome.
So that's, hopefully saves us a lot of problems.
It'll save a lot of money too.
Yeah, save a lot of money and save a lot of problems. Let's see, and that other one that Linda's been talking to us about, where they're looking at taking drainage assessments and using it in the formula for figuring ag property tax. That, originally, the Iowa Drainage District was for that, because of the members who requested it from our group, from the levee areas, because that's what it really is pertaining to, is the levee areas. Everybody at the meeting that I was at voted against it, so they're changing their position to undecided, so they went from for to undecided. We're moving in the direction of against, because, to me, it's...
There was nothing enacted on that though.
No, it's just our opinion.
Right, the opinion from the Drainage Association.
Yeah.
But as far as legislative wise,
No,
there was
nothing's happened on it yet.
So now we'll get
But
into next year's discussion.
It'll be back in the,
And that-
in the game next year.
And,
No,
drainage.
they could bring it in at the last second, sneak it through.
Okay.
Because it has to do with appropriations.
But,
Oh my gosh. Yep.
So
Drainage-
he's gonna watch that closely.
Drainage Association has lobbyists there,
Yep,
so now their position would be against.
yeah, undecided,
Undecided.
decided to against.
Right.
That's kinda what we're leaning to, mainly just out of respect for the counties that, 'cause that's a problem, we have counties that need it, and some counties that don't. And I would say the majority of the organization probably doesn't want it,
Mhm.
but that's something they're looking at a little harder.
Good. Good meeting then.
Yeah, and then we talked about 1099s for warrants. We had quite a discussion about that, 'cause some counties, you know, when someone pays a contractor with warrants, we don't do much of that, very little, maybe, like a big project, there might be $5,000-6,000 worth of warrants go out to private individuals, and it's usually the engineers or the guy who does the work. And do you give them a 1099 when you pay them with the warrant, or do you give them it when they turn it in and collect it? That was the big discussion on that.
Come up with anything?
No,
Oh, okay.
undecided, because everybody did it differently.
Okay.
I was gonna say, does it really make a difference one way or the other?
Well, the warrant's an IOU, so should you pay taxes on an IOU?
No,
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah.
if they wanna do the 1099, it better be when they receive the money.
That's what we thought.
There you go.
But some of it, people said, well, I got this IOU, I got all these expenses, I want to expense against it, so I want to call it income. You know, it was both sides.
Talk to your tax advisor.
That's right.
Well, and then how do you decide on interest?
Yeah, then, because then when you do turn it in, then you have an interest payment too, but if it's under, well, if it's $10 or over, they gotta give them a form for that. So, we spent probably 15-20 minutes talking about that and got nowhere.
Okay.
That was about it for me.
But it was in person?
Yeah, we had it in person.
Wow.
Where was it, where'd you have?
Rockwell City, Calhoun County Courthouse. Nice old courthouse.
Yeah.
Old,
Old. Well, we know about old courthouses.
yeah,
You're sitting in one.
yeah. And I think it's older than this one, the way it looked.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that was pretty good stuff.
Found it interesting, the room we were having our meeting in had a bunch of exercise equipment in it. And I said, what do you guys provide this for your workers? Yeah, it's kind of a break room for their workers, if they wanna come down and eat their lunch and ride walk a treadmill, or you look at the whole machine there, and,
Well, that's a good
How
idea.
about that?
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a nice idea, really.
yeah, I thought I'd mention it, it's,
Mhm.
Don't even have to buy it, just drive around here, I've seen it.
you can pick them up
Yeah.
all over.
Yeah.
And
It was almost like a carnival atmosphere this weekend. There's a lot of stuff out, and everybody was just like...
It was such a nice weekend to pick up stuff.
It was.
Just so it doesn't end up out in our ditches when they finally don't want
It
it.
don't,
we've
yeah.
already found a few of the first TVs, so.
I was gonna say, the TV,
Minus the
went in.
cord.
Yeah, usually it's the TVs that start showing up.
I usually will get a call from someone out south, and they have a or a minimum maintenance road that
Collects
a lot of stuff ends up on that. Tyler will call, hey, can you let Ben know?
Yeah.
A lot of stickers are $10, I mean, come on. Buy a $10 sticker.
Well, the bad part is, a lot of them, you put the sticker on, it, somebody picks it up, cuts the cord off and throws it in a road ditch,
Right.
and
Now, the ones that have the stickers on them, we
Oh.
have taken them down to the city shed.
Oh, there you go, just take it
Somebody's
back.
already paid the
Right.
$10.
So at least you can turn them in and get rid of them that way.
Yeah, that's good.
But it's never the nice shallow ditch that they throw
Well,
in,
it's
it's one that's clear down the...
Yeah.
So they just want the cord?
Yeah.
Why not just take the cord right there then, and just cut the cord off there at the place? I mean,
Plug it in
come
and See
on.
if it works first.
Yeah, they wanna take and see what works first, just in case.
Isn't the copper in the cord a really nice,
No.
or would it be?
No, it ain't
I
worth
mean-
nothing much these days.
That's almost hilarious.
Scrap prices are up, though.
Yes, they are, scrap is going up, along with everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, well, should we move into drainage?
We
Certainly.
can start getting Kim in here then. I'll make a motion to go to drainage.
Second?
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
I'm assuming they're coming to Zoom?
July 1st, we can,
I
that would be
don't
nice.
think they're gonna be here.
Well,
The
usually
engineer,
we're in drainage, but this is just a suggestion, and we've talked about it before, now that you've got that official ruling from the state. If it remains on the dry side, and even if we have normal weather, hopefully, maybe this is a good year to look at some stretches of clean out in the ditches, because they need it.
Yeah, it does make it a lot easier when it's dry.
Yep, I mean, it just, that, and we've got more to work with, and, you know, we get the good contractors that we know that are good at ditch cleaning. I really think we pick and choose the bad spots, and we've been doing that the last couple of years on some. And it appears that that's been a really good program. We only had up to 50 to work with. Now we got a little bit more to work with if we
Yeah.
choose to.
Yeah. Anybody been out where Doug Marshall was fixing out here southwest of town? Where they had some sloughing and they was mixing in some rock?
Yes,
Anybody looked at that recently?
not recently. He started it last fall,
Mhm.
and, that was the thing, put some rock, rappy type stuff to stabilize the banks, because they're notoriously sloughing off. No, it's about this spring, I don't know if he hadn't been back at it, I don't know if he is now or not, but, that was one, remember, we said you could go up to X amount,
Mhm.
not, you know, you can't just go for miles and miles and keep adding. No,
Okay.
but, it was working good, what he had done, but then he got shut down by the weather, yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, it's 9 o'clock. We got DD 7 sub 2. We have accept the reclassification report from Bolton and Mike. We have that in front of us. I think we had, I know Colin was here with Brent Keenest and
Chris Workland.
Chris Wortland, they worked on this. I happened to stop in here when they were working on it, and they said they did like how they have it broke down in smaller parcels, rather than, you know, the whole 40 broke down into 2.5 acre pieces, so you can see it better.
So these numbers that we got the other day in this sheet are
They're the same numbers, I
they're the
believe.
same numbers from the book.
Yeah, that was kind of a preliminary printout. Here's the
Yeah,
official.
these were just shrunk down, so it was easier viewing. Yeah, they're looking at a total project of $95,000.
What's everybody else's thoughts on it? I guess
I went through it, I thought it looked good to me.
What was secondary road portion?
Secondary roads portion is $6,840.72.
I do have a question for you on that. Now, like, when they do the road crossing, and you bring out 2 loads of rock and dump in there?
We don't charge anybody for that.
Well, see, I know, that's...
We haven't been.
That's my point. You donate the rock, but yet that's part of the, is that part of the project? And then you have to pay for it a second time? I mean...
Good question, I don't know, I've never been told whether...
Because I think a lot of the reasons we donate the rock is because we don't want the settling.
Right.
So, I don't know. I just...
I know they usually provide the bedding rock.
Do they?
I guess we've always just hauled out 1 or 2 loads of rock and spread it, and then the biggest thing is the constant babysitting, as it still settles.
Even with rock, you get
Even
some set
with
of rock,
rock,
you
yeah.
still get the settling. So that's to our benefit, the rock is.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, that 2 loads doesn't cost as much in the long run.
Yeah, I did have a call from a farmer involved in this last night, and he was real pleased how the project went. So, hasn't gotten the bill yet, so I don't know how pleased he'll be
That's
after
why he's
that.
pleased.
Yeah.
Well, I guess my question is there was a couple of people that were opposed to this, and, are we satisfied that those people that basically opposed it, are they gonna be happy with what their assessment is? 'Cause this basically was, for lack of a better term, private, but yet it was still part of they have to pay part of it.
Well, same for us, I mean, if it was a private tile crossing, it would've cost us $2,000
Instead of 6.
instead of 6.
And I know that, the people that, pushed this, or wanted it, they got a pretty good chunk of it, but by the same token, is that chunk if they'd have done it private, they'd have had all of it. So I guess that's my question. I haven't heard from anybody,
Well,
They haven't had the
gotten
numbers.
these numbers yet.
so basically all we're doing is we're gonna accept this,
Yep.
and then if there's a lot of disgruntled people,
Yep.
then we can go back and tell Chris and Brent, we might have to redo this,
If we feel
if
necessary.
they feel like it's not fair.
Well, is that true or not? I mean,
I don't know.
we're accepting this, was there any
Yeah.
potential revision after it's accepted?
Yes, there is. We accept this, and then we set a date.
Oh, with a
for
hearing, that's right. I
and
think-
that is when the people have their
Yeah.
chance to come.
Okay,
and
so
voice
then
their
that is
opinion.
correct,
Right.
And then
procedural.
after that, after we hear the complaints
Set a
or
date and
whatever,
time.
or if everybody's happy, we just move forward.
So, yeah, we're basically just
We're
accepting
just
the...
accepting it,
the
so it can be
findings.
so it can be mailed out to
Okay.
the landowners.
Just wanted to make sure that,
Yep,
along Bruce's thought process, that...
yeah, the second part is the hearing, so.
Yeah.
Is this project done then?
Yep,
It's all
all
put
done,
in,
worked up, ready to plant.
waiting for the rain?
Yeah.
Do we not hire someone to go out and do a rain dance to get some of the, see if it works? 'Cause we sure need the rain.
Is seeding part of those projects as well?
Seating,
Like seeding the road ditch where they disturb?
I don't know,
That's one that we've never come back on.
yeah.
I can contact Colin on that.
It's not a big deal.
It wasn't Allen, was it?
What was that?
Reitzel's.
Reitzel excavating.
Yeah.
That's a fair question, I haven't
Did you
seen
try
any
Colin? I don't think
suspicion,
that-
no.
No, she said
No,
Colin.
Colin.
Oh, Colin, I thought you said Allen.
No,
But I
it's
think
the
we
math.
can
Read my lips.
Sorry.
I heard
Okay. It's my ears, that's pretty good.
Because, yeah, that's where all the weeds grow,
Right, yep.
Well,
well, like weeds.
But I can make a phone call and find out if that does
Yeah.
include.
Mhm.
well, by the same token as your rock, you know,
Like Eric said, when they come through, if they disturb it and they don't throw grass seed back out, and
It's ironweeds.
we don't
Yeah.
do it at the location because we didn't disturb it, that's when the ironweeds come in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
well, how far out do we, let's start this rate.
Well, do we need to make a motion to?
Yeah, but I'm just looking at how far we have to go out, is it 40 days, or what?
Yes, not less than 40 days, and the first calendar Monday will fall on Memorial Weekend. So if we go the following Monday, that'll be June 7th.
June 7th.
That would be the first available, meeting Iowa Code 468.14 for your minimum of 40
Fair
days.
enough.
So no one's planning on
Well,
skipping the country on
not
Which
this
day?
day.
June
June
7th.
June 7th, I think I plan on being here.
Well, I'm planning on it too, so I guess,
You ain't coming. Okay.
Okay, well, then I'll
let's
make,
pick a time then?
Did we vote on accepting?
No, we haven't yet.
Okay.
No.
I'll make a motion to accept the reclassification report.
First, we got a second from Dave, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're gonna set a date and time for the reclassification hearing. And it's been proposed for June 7th,
Let's do it at 9.
9 o'clock sounds good to me.
Is that your motion, Bruce?
I'd make a motion to, make it at 9 o'clock on the 7th.
I'll second that.
We have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I guess
June
if
7th at
Colin,
9 o'clock, okay?
if Colin has an issue with
Yeah.
that, they'll have to, we might be able to adjust the time,
Yeah,
but you're gonna have to let him know early
Correct.
enough that,
yeah.
Correct, and I spoke with him on Friday, and he gave me his phone number. He said during the meeting this morning in setting the hearing, if anyone had any questions, we could call him on a conference call.
well, I guess as long as he's available, 'cause if there's questions by people, he's the one that's gonna
Yeah,
have
we
the...
want him here at the hearing.
Okay?
Just let him know that. We'd like to have him here at the hearing.
So will 9 o'clock work? That'll be your first Monday where you're approving more board or other meetings, budgets, claims.
I think 9 o'clock will be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. 'Cause usually these hearings are only 15 minutes unless it's a lot of stuff going against it.
Oh, okay.
They don't take too long. And the project went fairly smooth and stuff, so I don't think there'll be a whole lot of issue.
And by the time we get done, I bet if you got him a phone call and just touch base with him and say, we got it set for 9, if he had something else set, he might be able to
I juggle it around.
juggle it and say, I can,
That far out, he should be able to.
yeah.
Okay. Yep, I'll give him a
Okay.
call.
Anything else that we need to discuss?
Are we going to talk about that one out west of town here, or are we just going to call?
Oh, yeah, yep. Okay, Bruce went out and looked at it, I went out and looked at it. I spoke with Rick Hopper about it, whether it could be plastic or cement. his recommendation was, if you do plastic, make sure you bury it at least to the top of the pipe to keep the shape with rock. He says you probably don't need to cover it, because there's not that much dirt above it, but he says you want at least embedded in rock up to the top of the pipe, so it doesn't egg shape on you, deflect.
Now, did everybody see their email that I had sent the photos of?
Yep, looked at them, all right, thank you.
Okay, instead of printing all 9.
Yep, no, that was
photos
fine.
5 times.
Well, I told, or asked Cory to go out and give us a, couple of measurements. I don't know, did he send anything to you for that? But out there about 180 feet from where, that's the picture of the 180 feet, is where it went to 3 foot. So he said, from there towards the ditch, it's a lot shallower, and I guess that was what his after is, I said, well, if we can get the top of that measurement from the bulkhead where that thing would set, we might gain some there because of the concrete.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, he suggested we rip out all that concrete bulkhead, drop that main 2 feet, because it's way high, and then put that new pipe in 2 feet lower all the way up to where it connects, and then just bring it up, hook it on, and, go with that.
all that work sounds good.
How big is that tile?
24,
24, it's 24-inch clay.
but it's old and,
I measured it, it's already deflected to 25, it's 25 wide and 23 tall.
And in this picture here, you can see where it's cracked all the way back, and several sections are cracked all the way around.
Well, you know, in the grand scheme of things, at least this is fixable,
Yes.
because speaking of your deflection of clay tile, they're all like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So this is,
And, you know, you can stick your head in there and look a long ways, which is, I was surprised you could stick your head in there and look clear out to the outlet.
Uh-huh.
And, I think the main's in pretty good shape, really.
That's awesome. At least it was really just the shallowness
At
that
the very
damaged it.
end.
Yep.
I think
And that's,
this fix will last a long time.
that's great, because we're gonna see a lot more of this.
And then if we do have problems upstream later on, we can always hook onto this and continue on up.
Yep, but make sure,
That depth.
Bruce, if you talk to him, make sure if you go back X amount, even a little further.
Make
would
sure it
work.
goes far enough.
Yeah, don't leave a questionable spot of this poor tile. I mean, if it looks really good, that's great, but if you say, go back a little further.
well, and I guess maybe the other thing is I'm not sure where that thing bends around that grove.
It actually goes right through the
It
grove.
does go right through the center?
Yeah.
And I guess on the other side, I remember there's an intake. in
Yeah, I
there,
went and
isn't
looked at them intakes, and the water's flowing the same up on the, above the grove as it is below the grove, so there's no blockages in the grove.
That's good.
'Cause they, obviously, you can see where they've taken down trees. They might have had a problem years ago, they've cleaned out the trees now, where the tile goes through.
it? Well, we've had several suck holes on the other side, on the south side, over
South
where
of the-
Goodell's have, I think, Doug Marshall's fixed on the south side of Highway 3 numerous times.
Well, the pipe's about 7 foot deep in the ground where it crosses Highway 3. So
So it drops pretty quick.
so it's pretty deep in through there.
All right.
It's got good cover there. So, I'll call Cory and let him know that we gave him the go-ahead to fix it.
Okay, I have created the work order for him.
Okay,
So,
all right, I'll visit with you about that afterwards. And
sounds good.
Perfect. Perfect.
anything else for drainage?
Like I said, 'cause I was out there when Doug, we looked at the project, I brought it to the, everybody's attention, and we set a limit, I don't remember exactly, maybe 20,000 for the bank repair out there, and just see where he's at with that. I don't know, maybe he hasn't gotten back to it this spring, but I know he started last fall, it was working well, trying to get to where it curved, that would encompass the worst of the bank failure. There's been a lot repaired in that area over the years, but that's what seemed to stabilize it when they used the rip-rap type
Yeah.
stuff to put it back. and just see where he's at with that, what's going on, and then hopefully have a report back by next week.
Okay.
And I will mention, Bruce, to Don Reefer, that this location, better double check the brush control.
I think I'm gonna see if Cory can just dig his...
Dig it out,
Dig 'em
get
out.
rid of them. But I'll just
There's
tell him, hey,
only one, two larger trees, and there might be some smaller brush. You can-
Right.
get them out of there, but, you know, because of the fact that it's kind of an odd area,
I can see how it got missed.
yeah.
'Cause I didn't even know there was a ditch there.
Well, that's, you know, and that's the thing, 'cause it's not Don going out there, he's given this guys, you know, these locations, and
Mhm.
so just for future reference. But, yeah, if he's out there, just tear him out.
Okay.
What about, are you gonna talk to him about the other pipe there then
Yeah.
too?
Yeah, that
Burying
needs to,
that.
be- needs to be cleaned up and repaired.
Okay, 'cause that's been undercut, and it's just gonna keep eroding if we
Oh, yeah.
ever do get rain again, so. Perfect, thank you.
Okay. Anything else that the board needs to talk about, drainage?
Nope, not that I know of, I'll make a motion. Drainage. Second then.
We are all in favor?
Aye.
We are out of drainage.
Anything else for here?
I never asked Trish before she left if she had
She's
anything.
got a paper in here about creating the American Rescue
That's,
Plan.
next week,
Is that next week?
Look
Oh,
on the-
okay.
disclaimer.
Oh, the
Look
other,
at that.
I'll go ask her. if
the
she
one
had
thing
anything else
I was asked last week when we had a visit with Todd and Mimi, someone asked me why we didn't bring up how many people, were in favor of, or signed the petition. I said, well, I thought we had talked about it before, but there were 249 signatures on that petition that Todd Lee presented, so I'm making sure that I hang that up. 249 people on the petition that Todd has in his presence, that were in favor of doing something with the dam, so.
Which is quite a few when you really think about it.
Well, she was happy with the 170-some people that had taken part in the meeting, so
In the survey.
I think that plus 249 names. But I told Todd that I would bring that up so that we would make good with the
Yep.
person that was upset, so anyway, that's what I had. I make a motion to,
Yeah, if Trish has nothing else for us, so.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned at 9:19.